Birds are overrated. That's right. Did you hear that, Rakan? Did you hear that? Anyway, let's get on to the Rift. We have a banger of a game coming up. Once again, Quincy, I'll ask you, where are your eyes in this early game?
My eyes are, of course, speaking towards the bot lane, because in the first game, I wanted to see the Jhin getting ahead. He kind of didn't, and it was still fine for style, because later on he got donated the 1v2 outplay, where he of course was doing good in his own right, but it kind of was an angle for Team Secret to just run away with the Jinx being ahead of the Jhin kind of win condition they had. And this game again, I just think Levi will of course play around his bot lane with just, well, you're just asking for it, right? And I want to see what they can pull off there. I think Kati maybe even could get some help early, because Victor can at least do like some shenanigans in the range with his melee matchup. But I think Grace will be very fine against the Gwen starting around level 2, where Gwen doesn't really have that inside level 1 dueling advantage she would have. And I just want to see that Levi can really propel the bot lane a little bit, because it is a very good matchup if you can put some focus on it.
We're not seeing any cheesy flash remounts. DCB is on the horse. Cardi having a bad time.
Cardi.
Don't get solo killed. I don't think he will. There's no ignite from this Victor. But that's a very low Cardi.
Yeah. That's a very low Akali. I mean, she has the HP, was level 2 is coming out. Deathray, it was hitting, but I think Kati will somehow manage because of the sustain. Yes, with the one's shield and also the potion ticking, but that wasn't really not great trading by him at all. And some signs of life from Artifact, who was getting bullied in the first laning phase in the Victor against Ryze matchup. And maybe we see more of Artifact in this game. Last game, he was not really having an easy time, also with getting ganked a lot in Shuao, 2v2.
Has to flash away, but does a lot of damage to B on the way out. So Eddie's actually able to come in, whip a rocket across, and it's actually a somewhat even trade. One summoner spell in the advantage of GAM.
One summoner spell in the advantage, and also like if Well just finds another engage, it will just be Tahm dying very quickly, because within the CC chain you cannot really press a thick skin, and then you wouldn't really have the shield, which has been nerfed either way. And Shuhao could, despite being Tahm very quickly die here if he ever gets engaged on Akali. Oh my god, this is not looking good. But this matchup will shift towards level 6, where Akali gets the all-in threat and has the kill pressure. But beforehand, we see not a good time for Kati at all. I don't think he has to lose that hard, but props to Artifact, I guess, for playing it correctly, and Kati taking too much free damage here.
Yeah, it's really good. It's the early TP forced from this Akali. Artifact should be able to shove this wave, potentially go back without spending the summoner spell of his own. So it's a good situation, Team Secret. I actually think at this stage in the last game they were okay as well. Let's just see if they can actually maintain it this time. It was sort of around this first Herald that's obviously about 4 minutes away, where the wheels really fell off the wagon. If we look up onto the top side, Hero doing well as well, has a very slight CS lead. It'll get evened out as the waves push. But if he's going even with a Graves, I think he's okay.
He definitely is, and that just speaks something in general of what Team Secret's lanes bring here. Because, I mean, we criticized the draft a lot. We said, of course, it might just be more well-rounded. It still, however, does have the better scaling. So if GAM does not brutalize the early game, Team Secret is in a very decent position to do something in this game. The Jinx against the Jhin, very good. Victor with his Glorious Evolution.
Ooh, what's happened here?
Flash for flash trading. But B has the Hex Flash, so it will not be the end of the world for him. He could still go into a brush and channel the Hex Flash and still flash offensively. Kati, however,
in trouble. Penguin flashes over the wall to come screen for his mid laner. Does save him. He's now able to go back, but that's a jungler flash invested just to save the mid laner. Artifact potentially getting punished after such a good start to this game.
For sure, and Artifact still has his flash, but he cannot really use the flash offensively on the Victor very much. He would just maybe have it to get out of trouble. Maybe just now it would have been a smart decision to let Artifact flash instead of Penguin, but maybe it was a deliberate choice by the side of Team Secret, because Penguin thinks he doesn't need it as much. And speaking of the CS, it kind of stabilized a little bit, but here we see Artifact going for a little freeze, and this might just hurt Kati because he still is not level 6 yet, and will have to walk up very close to the Victor and still take a lot of damage. However, here, the Blast Plant kind of baiting him out.
Pretty much perfectly played there as well by the Poppy. It forced Levi to go to the wall side so he could slam him in, stun him, and then pop him away. So the junglers both in the right place at the right time to make sure that their respective top laners aren't in trouble. But speaking of the right place at the wrong time, I think Zhu Hao's in the wrong place at the wrong time as he's taking a hell of a lot of damage. Not quite able to finish it up is Style. Eddie playing it well to force them back.
And Eddie's heal was forced by its bot lane of GAM here. And with the wave coming in, it might just be a dive angle. Kati is 6.
Yeah, this is just a kill. This is just an easy peasy kill. In fact, it's going to be 2 as Cardi gets them both. He is extremely low. Penguin can't flash over the wall. Oh, yes, he can because he's got Hex Flash. He has Hex Flash. He has the sweeper. He's going to find Cardi. Well done there. They trade 1 back with this Poppy.
And he even missed the hammer shock. I think if B stays around there, maybe he can just interrupt him and just kill Penguin instead. But I don't think that GAM really expected the Hex Flash coming out here from Penguin. And was just a clean dive by the side of GAM mostly. Kati surviving with a sliver of HP, even after taking the ignite from Zhu Hao. And with the wave crashing in, Akali hitting 6. Kati wasn't really having fun in the lane anyway, so he really made the best out of his time here. You see the dive again. Wave not really that big, but Akali gets in with the Shuriken. Perfect Execution comes out, and Perfect Execution is also a very fitting name for that play from them. And Penguin, yeah, does the best out of the bad situation, I would say, in getting Cardi. Doesn't really play it mechanically perfectly, because he indeed missed the hammer shock, but he just had to E-click on towards the Akali, and then he was basically done with it.
Yeah, he did well there, and it was very hard to read for B to think that a jungler was coming in, so no harm to, it happens. And that does put GAM in a good position. They're 1,000 gold ahead. Levi is on this bottom side. No dragon has been started up yet. It is an Ocean Drake waiting to be challenged as he's here. It looks like they're just going to go for another dive. Eddie has to play this one perfectly. Zhu Hao is starting it off really well, but unfortunately he cannot save his AD carry, and he will fall. Levi now, can he outplay this Tahm Kench? I think he certainly can by virtue of having a team, and GAM go back to playing around bot side just as you predicted, and it goes perfectly. He has to flash away from the Sonic Wave, and this is going to be more plates in the pocket of Style.
Another well-done dive executed by the side of GAM. I think B didn't really even contribute to this dive very much, just on zoning, because he didn't get an assist at all. And Eddie, with his Summoner spell still being down, only really would have the Tahm Kench really to save him here. But Tahm Kench is not level 6 yet, so he doesn't have the Devour to really use it defensively. And Eddie just is an easy prey towards the Sin and the Jhin. And Zhu Hao, we saw just now that Tahm Kench is not that tanky yet. Even he has to flash away. And GAM, after a somewhat calm early game for their standards, coming out really swinging here and brutalizing the early game a little bit more. And this time also with Style being ahead of Eddie in the CS finally.
It almost feels a little bit cruel to the Team Secret fans. You look at game 1 and go, yeah, that was a roughie. But we've got our boy Eddie. He's still a big lad. He can pop off. And now GAM are focusing down towards him and taking away even those dreams. So Team Secret really will have to have a secret weapon to get themselves into this game.
They really do. And I think their only secret weapon, if you can even say that, would be the scaling on their side. But that's really obvious to anyone really watching this game. And of course, GAM studying this game in general, that they are indeed going for this approach. Herald now being started by the side of Team Secret. And I wonder if GAM wants to contest that. I mean, as we know, GAM, they likely will. Also, top lane priority coming out for them. Levi is around, and we saw it last game. It was really the demise of Team Secret, and now GAM is ready to fight.
Team Secret are in a much better position this time, but it doesn't matter. Not against the captain as Levi comes in, smites it away. Penguin does deny Kiaya's entrance to the fight, but it just doesn't matter when the Tahm Kench is this caught out. He's in the middle of the floor. It's a catfish bake. Cardi pushes in even further. Does just leave at the end. That is a herald and a kill secured for GAM. Their lead only grows.
And we kind of expected it before, and right? I mean, it was Team Secret almost getting away with murder here, because the smite flip could have been won by the side of Penguin, but Levi was indeed getting the better of him. Of course, with the Lee Sin, the execute damage is much higher, with the Sonic Wave and the Resonating Strike, plus combined with the smite, you deal around 1,000 damage in this stage of the game already, and the Curtain Call also in a very good angle to really land some follow-up bullet there for the damage and also for the slow to really get kills on top of it. So GAM here again, get the first Herald, get a kill on top of that, and Team Secret again around those objectives, not really looking too clean, and kind of their demise in maybe both of those games today.
Potentially, but the scaling dream, once again, they have one member of their scaling online. And this time it's the Victor. He is 20 CS ahead. He hasn't got any takedowns, as you pointed out in game 1. Victor really would love to get a couple of takedowns, not just because getting gold is good, but also to stack up that glorious evolution. Unfortunately, Darwin is not too happy in this one, as it's looking like intelligent design is winning out. But he is getting there slowly, as GAM will secure themselves that first Drake as well. They're looking very comfy.
They look very comfy, and I like that Team Secret at least didn't go to contest this Drake, because, I mean, it's the current state of the game. They aren't really in the position to really fight against them. Maybe sort of back. Whoa, that was greedy. You really shouldn't back in this position, because if that rocket lands a little bit quicker, the recall gets cancelled, he stands in front of the chompers, it cannot get out, gives away a free kill for the side of Eddie. But Eddie wasn't so lucky this time. And speaking of the Victor, as you just addressed, he's on the 100 CS mark, so he will have his first upgrade with the Glow's Evolution passive, will likely have the Death Ray upgraded, and could harass the Akali even more in the laning phase, and it was already not looking too good earlier on. But speaking of the Akali, she is under the 30 TS, but she also got the kill, got 2 assists, and is on the winning team. And with the map being a little bit more open, she can do a lot with these perfect executions and really assassinate Eddie with ease.
Yeah, no question. The Poppy ultimate is used. The helicopter doesn't get a huge amount, though, as the Herald charges in. One more auto attack will take down the tower, and you can see the fear that Team Secret has, as Style is ostensibly alone, but they know that Levi and B are close enough to jump in. They can't do anything onto him. And that's going to be a tower secured. It's going to be more and more pressure building up for GAM up on the top side. We have a fight, and we have a Kiaya once again showing why he's the best.
I don't know if he has to flash there, but it really looked cool, so I gotta give credit where credit is due, right? And this just kind of shows how Gwen kind of struggles against the Graves in the 1v1. Shield power already completed, I think, before this skirmish even started for the side of Kiaya. Here we see in the replay how the fight actually happened. Hero uses needlework, even hits the bullet, and Kiaya low on mana, but still able to deal a lot of damage with his Q and his auto attacks, and doesn't really need much mana in this situation anyway, because the auto attacks are really not dependent on that. And Shilpo Graves is kind of tanky, can lifesteal himself back up with these bursty damage bullets, and that was the device of Hero here, because he was not expecting him to heal back up that much, I think, and thought he could maybe win the all-in here, but Gwen not really in a position to really fight the Graves in the 1v1.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, was a bit too close to Graves to be immune and to get taken down. Now, we do have some items coming in. That's a chem tank on the Poppy. I like to see it. Just a Kraken Slayer on Jinx. I always think it's funny when players have a mythic and nothing else, but there's a collapse on the top side. Teleport being used. 4 members of each team around this lane. I don't think there's going to be a fight, though.
Yeah, there won't be a fight. Style flashed defensively because he was being a little bit too aggressive there. And TP being forced out defensively, however, is a good look on the side of GAM, because that's basically all they wanted. If they hadn't expanded the flash, I think it would have been pretty clean for them. Otherwise, they could just go for a huge dive on the top side. They are 4k gold ahead, the tier 1 turret cannot only focus one member of them and doesn't really bring much value for the side of Team Secret there. So it could have been a disaster for the side of them if they don't go for this defensive TP. But otherwise, Artifact's TP is forced again. He wastes some time to, or at least has some time where he's forced not to farm, and this is of course something that also, speaking in GAM's favor, that Victor, while he's slowly scaling into the game, is not scaling too quickly into this game.
Yeah, it would take a real miracle performance here from Artifact. He has to put his whole team on his back for quite a while, and it's a little bit tricky to do that against a team like GAM, who just have class in every position. They are just so absurdly good compared to the rest of the VCS that it's always hard to pick against them. I think we've said in both of these games that we think Team Secret have won the draft, but doesn't matter, does it?
It doesn't really matter, especially if you, did they really win this draft? You weren't really that convinced of that either way, because if you just draft scaling but lose the early game basically every position to some extent, then you aren't really winning anything. Especially, you don't draft with nameplates off, you're playing against GAM, you maybe cannot really justify drafting so much late game scaling and giving away so much of the early game. So in this regard, maybe they didn't even win the draft, but I think in this game it looks a little bit better than the last game, because while they are losing these skirmishes, they are a little bit more resilient. I didn't like the Herald fight of this time either, but at least it was somewhat close, but it was not completely disjointed. They went for the flip, lost the flip, that just happens. And if they maybe even get the Herald there, trade away 1 or 2 kills, it would have been somewhat fine, especially if you play against this oppressive early game for the side of GAM. But overall, I think Team Secret needs to show us a little bit more here.
Yeah, but it's what if, Quincy. So many of them we could make a wholly mediocre TV show just about Team Secret. As GAM, once again, style, he knows he's very strong. He has that Gale Force. Just steps up, has full control of this mid-wave. Penguin a little bit caught out, but he is very quick with the steadfast presence.
It just speaks volume about how Kiaya face checks into Penguin, then Penguin has to run away.
But there's a fight breaking out over this second Herald. B is immediately taken low, but the shots are raining in. Juhao has to pop that grey health into the shield. B should go down, but it doesn't matter because GAM are getting everything else. Artifact, his storm is going. He's doing everything he can as he goes gold for a moment, but here come GAM, bearing down on Secret, and I don't think there's anything that can be done. Hero, G's gonna try and be a hero, but the shotgun rings out, takes down the doll, and Eddie is the only one who will live to tell the tale.
And they just get B, and that's a kill for sort of Artifact, which is of course nice to have for that of Team Secret, but they dropped 4 members for that, and sure, just not respond, so it doesn't really look that horrible for them. T1 to it also fall down, and if you see a replay of that, I want to focus on Eddie a little bit more, because he was basically on the wrong side of the fight the whole time, walked up to it, then he saw his team members die, and then he just had to run the other way again, and couldn't auto-attack, I think, a single time in this fight. I think he only just brought the super bigger death rocket with him to have like at least some hundreds of damage, but that was basically all he did in this fight, and GAM now completely broke the game apart. 7k gold lead for them, first wake for them as well, and with the next wake, I think it's already on the map. It should be easy for them to play. And now here we see the fight again. And just watch what Eddie does in this fight. Or if he really gets on anything. B basically just goes for a suicide engage. And he does fall on his own. And here you see Eddie is already zoned out by the curtain call. TP coming in. And he just does absolutely nothing. And then here comes B's engaged. He will die for it, but it basically just sets up the CC for the whole fight, and nobody on the side of Team Secret can really do any damage in return. They take some damage, of course, in their fair share, but just you get out-stat-checked there, you get chased down by GAM, and they just brutalized you throughout it.
I was gonna say, as we come back to live and Artifact's dead again, that's not great. I was gonna say we could bring out a VCS English Classic when we're watching ADCs and bring out the count, but it was 0. There was 0 auto attacks out of Jinx in that one, so nothing
but
to even go.
But just
B coming in, sorry to cut you off, as they are going to go for the play. There's the kick onto Juhao. They will claim themselves Tom Kench. And Eddie is next on the menu, flashing away. There's the curtain call coming in. He whips one in. Can he actually find the way? I don't think he can weave it around Penguin. Good bodyguarding there.
Yeah, I cannot really go for banana shots on Jin to really get the snipe onto Eddie there. There was also, speaking of menus, a 2-for-1 special, right? You kick the Tam Kench in by the time Kench has devoured someone. And here we see, the off-screen kill that happened in the replay. It's also a VCS Classic, where Artifact died. And Shua, of course, still dead. Tier 2 turret falling down. The Herald cut rid of the Tier 2 turret in the mid lane. And meanwhile, off-screen, Style just solo killed Eddie.
Yeah.
This seems pretty done. Sorry.
Yeah, I think so. This is a thing that happens in the VCS. You get to the point where GAM just gets a little bit bored, so they just want constant kills, and the observers can't keep up. And that's not an insult. You just can't.
Yeah.
Oh, hero, be careful.
I think this is just GAM showing the dominance, but they beat the Team Secret and the team of observers at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. They're taking them on 2v1. Penguin coming forward. I don't think he knows how that Q works. a lot of impotent just hitting the ground. Just get out of my jungle. It's bullying.
Why are you bullying me?
Why are you
Sad to see.
Poppy?
11k gold lead at 20 minutes, kind of rough.
It's brutal.
Baron, of course, now spawning, and this will of course be GAM's to take. I wonder if they go for it immediately or if they just take some more time. The Scuttle Crab before the Baron is already secured by them, and it maybe even will expire for them, but it's of course not something that matters in the bigger context of things. And speaking of Eddie and his Kraken Slayer, I wonder if you should have went Gale Force in this game instead, because the full tanks aren't really on the side of GAM. You, of course, are somewhat in a position where you need to do a lot of damage, but the Gale Force also does that. And if you cannot auto-attack anyway, as we saw that last fight, at least have the Gale Force so you can at least get 1 or 2 out and the Gale Force active, instead of Kraken Slayer, where you basically only use the passive if you manage to pull out 3 hits. So yeah, I don't really like that option from him.
Yeah, it is a shame.
If Artifact can somewhat manage to do some damage again, because he is on the 1-item power spike with the Ludens, but that will probably not be enough for him. He needs to fully evolve with his passive and then get like 2 or 3 items to really get any more relevancy here.
Yeah, and I mean, this is just Garm taking Baron. Carty drew a lot of aggro in the jungle. Team Secret are going to come in here. You may as well flip this, in my opinion. But with your jungler getting caught out there, Penguin immediately does put up the steadfast presence, denying them for now. Artifact going low, gets gobbled up by Zhu Hao. Needs to get the hell out of there, though. The shield will protect him. Not from the sniper! As from downtown style, will put one into the back of his head. And that is going to be Garm cleaning up this fight. Only Hero is left, but the shotgun is ringing on out. Kiaya does not want to let this one go, as he's going to force Hero all the way back to the fountain. Can't quite kill him, but that doesn't matter because they've killed their hopes, they've killed their dreams. Never mind, I thought they'd end, but they didn't. They're just going to go to Baron.
I also thought they would end, but that's the thing with Secret, right? They get them exactly where they wanted them. The death timers are so low, they are so low on level that they can respawn in time to defend. So it is just the Baron and not the game for the side of Garm. And yeah, it was just a 5-0 ace. They don't even take the inhibitor because that would just give free XP and gold for the side of Team Secret. They just take the Baron here and will likely play on the next... Maybe on the next wave, maybe force a fight at then end. Or just straight up siege to be a base because you can do it. The top lane base entrance is already open for them, and I don't think Team Secret has any foothold left standing in the game to really do something about it, because they also get kind of outranged with the Jin deadlift low. She's coming in, and here we see the flank again. I really like what Carty did here to Artifact. Chunks 95% of his HP bar down, gets out himself, and it will later on return into this fight. And Style just snipes the last bit of HP away from Artifact. TP comes in for the flank, and now Team Secret is just getting routed here and can't really do anything.
Yeah, it's looking a little bit rough. I mean, when Styles able to hit shots like that, I'm not sure how you stop him. He's obviously on his game. He's 3-0-10. My word, what a player, what a man. Don't know how you stop them. All 5 members of GAM having an absolute cracker. They have been drinking their daily cup of Castrol, that motor oil making them run well. As Team Secret can't even approach, this will be Soul Point now picked up for GAM. Not as early as last time. They haven't put the focus on the Dragons, but an objective nonetheless. And Secret, I don't know, maybe if you make this game go for another 40 minutes, you've got a shot. But I don't know about that one.
Maybe 20 minutes is enough. This is again a Cloud Soul, so again the God of Summoner Swift kind of playing in their favor, but Team Secret isn't making enough of it. I mean, we kind of had some positive things to say about both drafts. We do not, however, have much nice things to say about their gameplay. I think maybe Eddie in game 1 really stepping up on his own regard. Some of Artifact's early laning phase was great, but other than that, objective-wise, they need to really work on their coordination and also which objectives to fight over and which not to.
Yeah, the inhibitor is under siege. Garm still wearing these Baron buffs, as they actually do finally get it. There we go. Didn't want to speak ahead of turn. And they move down to the bottom lane. They want to get all the towers, aside from the Nexus ones, removed, as Gwen moves forward, is using that Hallowed Mist well to make sure they can't engage directly onto her, but the tower falls. They have to just back off. Team Secret, at some point, you've got to take the last team fight, right? There's no point to lose slowly.
Yeah, do not lose 3 inhibs, because the third inhib has like 4 times the value of the other ones, because you then not only don't get 2 super mini waves, you get 6 to defend against, and good luck against that when you're also 1,100,000 gold or whatever they are down against the boned up Garm.
Infinity gold down. Let's be real.
It's 15k and then some. And here we see a curtain call. Maybe this is the last one.
Maybe. I think Team Secret could probably fend off this first wave or 2, but GAM are obvious. Like, it's a winning position as they are hitting onto the Nexus Towers. Secret, you've got to go at some point. Don't go quietly into that cold night. Go out in a rage of passion. B's going to be the one to get started immediately. He flashes off the 2 carries. The boot goes in onto Eddie. He has to try and find a way back to the Summoners platform. Just about does it, but it doesn't matter. He falls in the end. In goes Penguin. He's doing everything he possibly can, but it's just a little Yordle. It's just a Gwen. They've got no chance. The Nexus is under siege, and GAM take an absolutely dominant 2-0.
Yeah, we hinted at it before. As we saw the draft, GAM absolutely brutalized in the early game here. It was kind of quiet in the first few minutes.